Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so today I'm going to start off and touch base with the Divine Masculine Collective and the Divine and get to the bottom of ghosting. So let's ask some questions about why do Divine Masculines ghost? First off, I want to ask what the Divine has to say about Divine Masculines ghosting. So what is the divinely guided, love-filled mechanism that happens, or purpose? Let's say everything contains love, so there is a benefit in all stages of the journey. So let's look at, from the divine vantage point, what is ghosting all about from a divine level? We're getting the Magician. Oh, these cute little cards before I go. Thanks, Katie, for these. The Kawaii Tarot, very nice. Okay, so the Magician. Manifestation. Wow. The first thing that I'm getting here is the Divine Masculines ghost when it is the appropriate response to the energy that's being given out. I'm being asked to stop there for one moment and get a clarifier. So let's get some examples of what energy is exchanged through conscious manifestation or otherwise, that feedback loop of reality. What goes around comes around, but also the inner beliefs. So we are getting the Eight of Wands. So, okay, Eight of Wands is in the reverse, and it's about intention. So ghosting and not having communication reciprocated is a divine opportunity to look at the underlying intention and become better at discerning what manifestations are playing out. What energy are we putting out there? What energy can we feel through the act of ghosting? Can we drop into understanding these deeper currents, the deeper currency, the deeper energetic intention or alignment inherent in each episode of ghosting? Or, I don't even love that word ghosting at all, because I would rather say a disconnect. Energetically, it's when the connection pauses for some reason. This can be divine, it can be originating in the masculine or the feminine polarity. There's some benefit to it, though, from this divine advantage or vantage point, and we're looking at frequency, giving everybody involved a time to ponder or feel into what the frequency is. What was the motion right before the ghosting happened? Was it appropriate? What are the expectations that were not fulfilled when the ghosting or a disconnect occurred? We also got the Last Judgment in the reverse. This is the card of karma. It's also hearing the call, seeing the light. It's in the reverse, though, so something isn't being seen clearly, either the way that somebody has conducted themselves, feminine or masculine, might not be understanding energy in a deliberate creator way, and so ghosting might feel, or disconnect might feel, uncertain or unexpected, unjustified, if we're confused about what has happened there. So in this, I'm getting that disconnect, when we call it ghosting, is a bit of confusion as to what happened. Where did the connection go? So again, it's another opportunity to look deeper, to observe, to trace, and see, is there something that can be personally accounted for that would have contributed? Fear, uncertainty, unworthiness, lack of clarity. All of these things are things that would come to light with the Judgment card in the upright, being able to understand something beyond a shadow of a doubt. So, you know, if energy drops off for a time, it's because it's not appropriate that it is engaged, or there isn't a legitimate reason for it to be activated. There's a disconnect, an incompatibility. With divine love connections, the focus drops off when we're meant to focus on ourselves. And if it's not time to collaborate or connect with each other, potentially because there's a frequency at play less than love, the energy dissipates and falls away. So the divine vantage point here is saying that if you experience a disconnect in energy, an unexplained disconnect in energy, or a mysterious disconnect in energy, that it's an opportunity to really look at intention, motivation, connect the dots, take your empowerment into your own hands and be accountable for your side of the dynamic, and really put yourself in the shoes of your divine counterpart to see what might be going on, so it's no longer a mystery. The best way you can do that is to pray and ask the divine for understanding. Ask the divine to show you the inner workings of this stuff so that you can become masterful, because not taking it personally, but doing your best and learning how to, I'm getting into the 4 agreements. If you haven't read that, be impeccable with your speech. So you say what you mean, and you do what you say, and your yes is yes and your no is no. So there isn't confusion, so your intention isn't misleading, so that you know how to appropriately communicate. This is for the feminines and the masculines. This is one of the main points of disconnect in the twin dynamic I'm also getting, is because these connections are so intense that they can max out the capacity between individuals who haven't taken the time to see what's being needed under the surface, to be accountable and impeccable with what we're observing in our own right, so we can bring that to the table. It's kind of the I got nothing energy. I need to go back to the drawing board. I need to revisit this. I need to tune into my emotions and see what I'm picking up on. It doesn't feel right to me. All of those kinds of things indicate that the energy has disconnected for a time. With twin dynamics, it keeps coming back around though, so we're not meant to have fear. We're meant to learn from this stuff. Okay, we got 2 other cards here, 5 of Wands and the 4 of Cups. So 4 of Cups is about unrequited love. In the reverse like this, we're seeing the love in things. 5 of Wands is about our own interaction with too many energies, being spread too thin because of not streamlining, not taking personal accountability, not manifesting the things that maybe we want to be manifesting, but just willy-nilly manifesting. So kind of like a mixed bag. Union comes in when we start streamlining this, when we start seeing the love in things, when we don't accuse, when we are receptive, when we can be harmonious at whatever level is available. And deciding not to be petty, no eye for an eye, seeing in a more diplomatic way, truly having compassion for the sovereign journey of others. The serenity prayer I'm hearing, you know, all of these things are the theme of ghosting or disconnect. When the energy isn't flowing towards, it's not time. If it's not time, how can it be time? You know, union and love and harmony are the goal. There's no reason to not have success if 2 people desire it. And the divine can be consulted with a prayer of show me understanding, show me what I need to know here, show me how to repair this. 2 questions or 2 inquiries have come to my reality in the last day that are monumental questions to ask in situations of relevance here with this theme of disconnect. One is, how have I hurt you? And the other one is, what would your idea of fun be in this connection? I'm going to leave you with those two and pull the Daily Divine Masculine cards. Okay, so what is it, Divine Creator, that we can see? What are the masculines thinking about the connection today? What are the masculines feeling about the connection and their Divine Feminine on the heart space today? What are they wishing for the connection? What actions are being taken? What is the biggest challenge at this time? What is the spirit-guided solution for that challenge? And where is the energy going in the near future? Okay. We are getting for what are the masculines thinking? Ace of Swords and Eight of Fire. Wow, this is that intentions card. So no communication and intentions. So I believe that many resonating with this reading today, this is a confirmation for the ghosting message, the frustration or the curiosity that sometimes communication doesn't flow easily and we're at a loss for words. It's about the intention. What do we want to use as our inner motivation for connection? Just for curiosity's sake, do a check-in and see, what is it actually that you desire in way of communication, for the motivation of your heart to communicate with your divine counterpart? See if what comes up for you is the deepest level of it, or you maybe are able to drop through it into a deeper level of that. Sometimes connections drop off because we don't know how to say what we want, because we haven't crystallized exactly what it is we're after in that situation. So everybody, divine masculines are kind of looking for reasons to communicate, for discernment of intentions regarding the purpose of communication at this time. Okay, what are they feeling on the heart space? Five of Earth and the Ten of Wands. Separation and burden. So masculines deeply want to end the burden of separation in these scenarios. They don't want the silence. They don't want the guilt, the shame, the uncomfortable, the awkward. They don't want these connections to be cumbersome. They want to celebrate these connections just as much as you do, Divine Feminine. What is the wish at this time? To work together in the physical for happiness. They're not going to be happy until they actually figure this out. That is part of the mastery, dealing with the challenges of this other exquisite being in all of their wild and brave and sovereign ways. That is a challenge fit for a king, fit for a queen, isn't it? Coming together with another incredible, amazing powerhouse manifester with their own fired up free will, alive and fully realized. That is an incredible opportunity to learn elegant teamwork, honoring each other, and coming to compromise or negotiation rather of happiness equally for both involved. What an incredible theme emerging in today's reading. That is really cool. Okay, what actions are the masculines taking? King of Cups and Six of Earth. This is reciprocation. Masculines are at a loss for words, I'm hearing. So there is distance, there is space. I feel the masculines are a little bit overtaken with the sheer magnitude of the connections and also their own desire to figure out solutions in this scenario. I'm hearing can't live with him, can't live without him. Oh dear. So, dear, haha. Masculines are making steps to understand what will be futile to say and what actually fills up their cups. This is prioritizing, trying to figure out in the 3D, in the material realm, 6 of coins, what is an authentic and justified reciprocation of energy here. Energy exchange, meeting of the minds, collaboration, friendship, partnership. What terms can be good between the two? What is fair? What is balanced? What is justified? What makes sense? What makes sense, twins? Masculines are deliberating. What makes sense? All these things have been wasted. All this emotionality, all this worry and strife and overthinking and feeling and intensity. Masculines are putting down the intensity. Really, masculines, this is a humble and noble motion of wishing to dissipate the intensity of emotions in these connections. Oh, and I'm hearing just be yourselves and step into it and just be you. Wow, masculines, you're inspired to just put down all the extra and show up. Whoa, masculines, that's amazing. Okay, what is the biggest challenge? Self-love and divine intervention. So the biggest challenge is knowing that it's that simple. Loving yourself unapologetically, being you, and allowing that reputation to precede you, not the reputations of the world. Oh yeah. So masculines, that is exciting. You know, the reputation of the world is a vastly different set of analytics than the spiritual sight of the individual and the soul. That's the challenge, masculines. Seeing that it's that easy to just drop into the heart space, that 5D inverse assessment of what reputation truly is, and allowing that reputation, your divine reputation, to precede you by way of co-creating your reality with the hand of God, giving your full vote to saying yes to that which is meant for you, that which is divinely orchestrated, that which is abundantly blessed upon you when you are worthy, when you love yourself. Oh wow, masculines, you are ready to get real, apparently. And isn't it ironic that getting real is getting spiritual? Okay, what is the spirit guidance for this? Wow, making the changes in the physical towards reciprocity, towards showing up, same card. Making the changes one by one to reach that goal. Just saying yes to it, choosing it, masculines, putting down the intensity and resistance and aligning with it, brings it in one choice at a time from that new vantage point of worthiness, self-love, acceptance, dropping of resistance. Every time you do that, each thought that you invoke that holds that frequency, that intention, brings you one step closer to showing up, being authentic, reciprocation, balance, that which you know on your heart to be your truth in these connections. That's what gets you into union, masculines. Okay, where are these connections going in the near future? 5 of air with the 2 of coins again. This is the same card in the reverse. So choosing to really look at the thoughts. Choosing, when it's in the reverse, it's having made a choice to do the work, to look at the personal accountability. The 5 of swords is a card of victory, but I often think of it as a shallow victory. Cheating, getting what you want, shortcuts, maybe being afraid to speak your truth, holding back, not disclosing all relevant information, and so a failure ensues because it never had a chance to begin with. All those things, choosing to take accountability for all the ways that you don't bring balance and contribute balance, twins. This is where the connections are going, is really looking at the inner workings of this so that it can be seen. And the self-sabotage and blocks fall away. Oh wow. Okay, let's see what. Oh, let's do this. So, I got the archetype deck. I forgot which one. So one card for the union space here. Okay, I saw it. Let's see if it comes out again. Too many cards. We are getting the castle. Actually, you know what? That doesn't feel right. I never do that. That literally didn't feel right. Okay, the maiden. That one feels better. I don't know what this one is either, but it seems like the right message. The maiden. The maiden archetype is the epitome of innocent arousal, naive sensuality, and precarious purity. She is compelling and addictive because of her flawless and youthful glow. She is the first archetype in the trifecta of Maiden, Mother, Crone, and rightfully so, because she has oh so much to learn. The maiden is perfectly positioned for trouble to come her way and subject her to a challenge that leads to the next phase of womanhood. She must grow up, yet hesitates at the threshold, enamored by the charms of youth. The maiden represents the side of us that is riveted and curious, drawn to shadowy forests, dark nights, and taking just one taste of a poisonous fruit. Her magic is edgy and includes both shame and delight. Let yourself fall down the rabbit hole, young one. Okay, interesting. So, revisit some of these naive and taboo things, everybody, so that you can look at, I'm hearing literally, how you can bring maturity to some of these things that haven't been explored past. This is a really interesting energy. Making friends with the process of discovery, making friends with the temptation, the inner workings of things, and having hypothetical exploration. Dive right into it. Dive into the follies of youth, the blessings of exploration, and really see. Don't be afraid to go into that. Don't be afraid to time travel into other memories of things that have happened in your life, or things that you've resisted. We get into midlife crisis when we revisit all the things we didn't allow ourselves to do in this stage, and it's under the surface, and so midlife crisis can come in for many, and there can be a revisiting of this stuff. So whether it's guilt and shame or uncertainty based on past experiences that haven't been worked through properly, or repression that stopped this phase of development and now a revisiting, there seems to be an invitation for everybody to go into those things to pacify the restlessness, the uncertainty, the clumsiness of it, and learn how to move past it, to be more mature, to see the blessing, to enjoy every stage of development in the highest. Because this is just an initial stage of development, the maiden, mother, crone, this does show the becoming. This shows the first step. And so I'm hearing, until we really understand all of the implications and threads and energetics at this developmental stage in a healthy way, the maiden stage, we're not going to graduate into the productive phase and then the wisdom phase fully in unions. I'm taking this as the developmental stage of many of the unions, specifically with that theme of the ghosting and the cap on the energetic flow or not. That developmental stage where it hasn't come into streamline and dependability and productivity yet. It's the becoming. So there's something in this maiden energy and all its wild, naive exploration. There are benefits to this stage, and there are things that inevitably will be let go of once they are understood. So very interesting, twins. There looks like a revisiting this. And you know, in private sessions, something that's coming up for me is that as we create healthier relationship templates on the planet, that major rite of passage age of early adolescence, maiden stage, but for masculines and all children, coming into the age of maturity is also when our hormones amp up. It's when our psychic giftings really come in. It's when we start preparing to usher souls into the world through our next generations. We have to have an immense download of wisdom, and I'm seeing that we are reclaiming that rite of passage on the planet, bringing back the rightful, safe exploration of these themes. I'm here to tell you that much of the reason why we need the twin flame dynamic to come in and help reclaim the planet is because of the disintegration, and this is a stage that has been highly disintegrated in so many earth peoples. And so we are getting the message that the ghosting is a developmental stage where energy falls off so we can mature in this, so we can see this stage and celebrate this stage of becoming for what it is, and step into more maturity and celebrate that next phase. But this seems to be right where we are, everybody. So many blessings, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.